Hey everybody, welcome back to Glow Up with Day Day. I have two guys here with me today, and we're gonna do a panel discussion. So I want to talk about. I want to introduce John, and I have Kip here with me today.
What's up, everybody? What's up?
Yes. So, you guys, do you feel like that you sacrifice your happiness more trying to have a relationship?
Absolutely.
What is happiness? What is happiness? What you mean?
All men sacrifice happiness more than women sacrifice.
Why you say that?
Because traditionally, that's what a woman is expecting of a man. So
what is she expecting?
Well, she's expecting him to spend time, which is he's wanting to sacrifice. He's going to have to sacrifice. She wants him to spend money, which he's going to have to sacrifice.
That's not true for all women.
I mean, maybe not. Only probably about 98%.
I don't agree with
you. You got to get me to understand what you mean by happiness. When you talking about sacrifice happiness, what do you be more specific?
Do you
like, what
feel
do you
like men sacrifice their happiness way more?
Of course.
With trying to have a relationship. Like, do you feel like you invest more than the woman or women?
I think it's proactive. I think both sides should sacrifice happiness. I mean,
but
equally.
Is that realistic?
Well,
is that realistic for today?
I'm gonna just give you an example of happiness. I don't know what happiness to some men. I don't know what makes him happy, but I can tell you what makes me happy.
Facts.
And what makes me happy is when I come home from work. I done had a hard day at work and come home and there's some food cooked and the house is clean. No man want to come home to a nasty house. I'm not gonna be happy.
Okay, but wait a minute. Bag it up.
Not cooked, prepared.
Is this for a girlfriend or a wife?
Well, I mean, if I come to your house, then we got some type of entanglement going on.
Entanglement.
I mean, whatever you want.
Girlfriend or wife, so I mean, she
that
don't,
already
she
is.
Whatever
she
you
don't
want
have to be my girlfriend to feed me. Because if I take on a date, she not gonna be my wife. So if I'm if I can feed her on a date, she can feed me in the house, whether we in a relationship
okay, but
or
wait
not.
a minute. That's not fair if a woman is giving you wifely duties and y'all just casually dating. I don't.
We don't switch subject.
Well, cooking for a man is not a wifely duty. You know what I'm saying?
Why do you say that?
Yeah, that's not.
A woman don't owe that to no man.
Nah, but my thing is this:
if we're dating,
she's gonna cook regardless if she's with a man or she's with a woman or whoever. She gonna cook. So I mean, if she's a real woman, I don't want a woman that don't cook no way. Me personally.
But just because she don't want to cook for some women feel like, hey, this my boyfriend, I shouldn't give all of my
well, she can be by
good
herself.
quality. Why would she want to be by herself?
Well, I mean, if she, my thing is this: if
when
she
do
feel
you think
like,
is the right time a woman should start showing a man like, hey, I'm gonna cook for him. I'm gonna show him that I'm a good caretaker.
Right away.
Why?
Right away. Right away. Don't wait. Because he's not gonna wait to pay for your date the first time y'all go sit down and eat.
But that's standard.
What? Are we agreeing to go Dutch when we like? What are we doing?
I think that's okay if it's the first encounter, because you don't know if you don't even like the person.
I agree too, but not a lot of women feel that way. So, you know, most of the time that a man is going on a date, with a woman for the first time, the proper gesture would be for him to, pay for the meal.
Some men don't pay for meals.
Well, then that woman might not be worth it once he sits down there and has a conversation
okay,
with her.
So how do you feel about that? I don't like that. He said that.
What's the question?
I don't know. That's maybe not, give or take.
About paying for the first date. Do you feel like the woman has to be worth it?
I mean, technically, I guess if I'm going to take you out for the first day and I like you, I'm going to pay for, the meal.
But what are the terms of if you like me? How you gonna know if you like her from the phone conversation, or
that's what I said, I'm not gonna
if you meet her on a dating app?
Well, I mean, some women are gold diggers.
And if I'm willing to go on a date,
you're not gonna know that right away.
Come on, not.
If I'm willing to go on a date with you, I don't mind paying
because
for you.
we know how to fake like we really into you if they want to get a meal, if that's that type of woman.
Well, my thing is this: I don't care. $20 is my thing. Is this?
$20.
I'm just saying 20 to $50. Whatever the
that's
cost
that 2
of the
for
date,
20.
Whatever the cost of the date, it's worth sitting down to know if I don't want to deal with you ever again. It's worth me paying.
Yeah, I mean,
paying for that.
I don't mind paying for the first.
I don't mind paying.
I don't
for
mind
knowing
paying.
if
Period.
I'm
not finna go out and kick it with you if I don't have no money. First of all,
that's
I'm not
good.
gonna do that.
I
We're
like
gonna sit at the
men who think
house.
like that.
We're gonna have a candlelight dinner. I can cook if you don't want to come over. Whatever. If I don't have it, I'm not going out. You know.
Okay. So why approach her?
It ain't about money. I ain't approach you to see if you want to go out to eat.
No, you said you would not take a woman out or offer that if you don't have it. So I'm saying, why even get to know her yet? Why not wait until?
No, because getting to know her don't have nothing to do with eating. I'm just saying taking her out, having a good time. We don't have to go out to get to know. You talk to a person on the phone. You communicate. I'm not a person that take a woman out right away anyway. We're going to talk and we're going to communicate on the phone, because I don't want to get you out in public and I don't want to get out in public and you embarrass me.
Okay.
Because phone conversation, you can tell.
I'm not finna go on a date with you if I don't like you anyway. If I don't like you, I'm
but
not
how do
going on a
you
date with
know? I just feel like I get it because I've
by
been
conversation
on dates where I didn't like somebody from a conversation. But
Yeah,
what if
'cause that's all you
that's
got to
going
like.
good and you just?
Well, I mean, there's no problem. I'm gonna know if I want to take you out to a meal or not based on our
Conversation.
because me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a person that's mental. If you can't stimulate me mentally, I'm not gonna be attracted to you anyway.
That's how it's supposed to be.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So if we conversate and we talk, and I'm not attracted to what you saying, and I'm not attracted to what you doing in your life, and you telling me what you got going on in your life, it's gonna be hard for me to get ready to go on a date with you anyway. Or I might hit you up on some, hey, let's go eat. Cool. We go sit down and eat. I might not never take you out to eat again. Or I might ask you, hey,
Do you
got
tell
the
him
next
why?
meal?
Do you tell him why?
For what? She didn't pay.
Oh my! Why is the money a big deal?
I mean, why won't the woman pay for the first date then? I'll go sit down.
I don't feel like that's like politically correct or traditional
I'll
for
sit
the
down.
woman to pay.
I'll sit down if a woman
First.
asked me on a date and wanted to pay for the date to eat and wanted to see. Yeah, I'll sit down. I'll do all that.
Even if you don't like her.
Just like a woman would.
Oh my.
Sit down right there with her and eat. Just like a woman sit down there over and eat with millions of men knowing that they don't like
That's
this
not
man.
true. That's not true for every woman.
I'm just saying, let's go by 85 to 90%. These numbers are high.
I want to go back to what you started out. I haven't forgot the question
Yeah.
you started out about happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And your question was about happiness. Me personally, I don't, some men, you can't speak for, all men, but with me, it's the simple things that make me happy as a man. It could be.
But you can get that from anybody. Like, what makes a woman stand out? Anyone, well, all women can't cook, but I'm just saying the basics, what you said, cooking, cleaning, keeping everything straight, the house. I feel like any woman can do that. So what would make
Guess
a
what?
woman
Then it
stand
won't
out?
take a lot to make me happy. I'm not saying that's all that it takes. I'm just throwing out some different things that make me happy. Some men is simple to make happy. I think all men is simple
Yeah.
to make happy.
For the most part.
Yeah, simple.
Yeah.
We like the small things, like a man, women. This is what I know that a lot of women don't do. You don't rub your man back. You don't rub his feet. Y'all don't do that.
Rub his feet.
It gotta be Valentine's.
See what I'm saying?
It gotta be
You know what I'm saying?
Valentine's.
Right
It gotta
there.
be
I
his
think
I think
birthday.
rubbing the back is okay, but
I mean,
feet.
like
Feet,
stuff
yeah,
like
it's
that.
feet. Like
I mean,
me, I stand on my feet all day, man. I might want
Y'all
my
supposed
feet.
to do that
I'm
for
not
us.
I'm not
They
gonna
supposed
ask
to
for
do
my
that
feet
for
rubbed.
us.
I'm not gonna ask
See
for my
that?
feet rubbed every day.
You
But
would be surprised how a man will treat you if you do those things.
Basic things.
Man, y'all don't have a clue.
But he have to deserve it.
no, he don't.
Nah.
Why? If
If
he,
you in a relationship with him, that should be deserving enough.
Right.
If you giving him your time and effort,
But you know why he's gonna
Why?
be deserving?
Why
because
not?
you gonna see a change.
Why
So
give him your time
So
if he's
y'all
not
feel
working?
like y'all are gracing a woman with your presence, and she should feel
no,
happy
because at the end of the
because
day,
she
you gotta,
got you, and she should do all these things with no ring.
No, not that.
with no ring.
Yes.
It's not about a ring. You gotta look.
Yes, it is because we date with purpose.
Well, of course,
Or
date-
you wasting
definitely-
your time.
You definitely date with purpose, but also at the end of the day, it's got to be a purpose to date.
Which is what?
It's got to be a
and we're
purpose to date. You
we're
know what I'm saying? So
We're talking about what what makes us happy. Of course, there's things that make you guys happy too. That's not
Right.
neglecting your happiness.
Right.
We're just in context of what's making.
So y'all want to feel more appreciated.
More
You
appreciated.
feel like-
That makes a man happy.
I hate an ungrateful beep.
You know what to make. You know what to make a man happy too.
What?
Well, me anyway. If you out and you come you're on your way to the house, I do this, try this, and I've told a lot of women this.
What?
Bring a man a pair of boxers and muscle shirts.
Some men get tired of that. They don't want that little sauce in.
Women
Because they out here
tired
buying.
of new draws.
But I'm saying
can
y'all
never
be
do
buying.
that.
Shirts and
But y'all be
undershirts.
buying
Can never
bags.
get
Y'all
tired
buy
of that.
bags.
As a man,
Y'all
if
buy
you get
heels.
tired of
You
new
can't never get
undershirts
Some
and
men
draws,
want more than
there's
that.
something wrong with you.
Something wrong with you. TDC, man. Look. I ain't
But
never
some
been
men
TDC.
want more than that. They feel like women get them cheap gifts as opposed to how much they
We're
spending.
talking about what makes a man happy. Those small.
Small things.
So you saying just on the way home do something that man would actually like?
Yeah, that he need. We like what we need. We like what we need.
Okay,
You know.
which is what?
Y'all
Elaborate
want
on what y'all need.
Sock. You can't never get enough socks.
Consistent sex.
We like clean
What?
socks. Consistent sex.
But are y'all bringing
I'm just
consistent
playing.
sex? It seems so one-sided to me, like in our culture sometimes. Like women, we go through a lot to make y'all happy.
Well,
And
you gotta sit back and think about it, because in our culture, you gotta also look at what because if we looking at it culturally, you gotta look at what our woman is doing culturally versus what the other women do for their men culturally. It's not even a
but
question
y'all
of.
degrade us sometimes, and
I mean, every woman gets degraded in society in every culture, but at the end of the day,
that's true.
we don't have the luxury to not hear the things that our women say and how they degrade us. Like most of the time when women degrade us, we're hearing it on music and radio, seeing it on TV,
Not as much as
or
y'all
experiencing
do.
it face to face, even for the most part. Our women will tell us to our face what we are. Oh, you ain't she, you ain't this.
What y'all do is
A different culture of woman, they might go sit down amongst one another and have a discussion about it amongst their culture. But the woman, she gonna come to you directly and tell you because she feel like you're the source of the problem. That's culture. I think that's the difference. Our women are more direct. They're gonna come to us directly. They don't feel like they gotta sit down and talk about it with other women in the culture. I feel like, nah, this is where the problem is. I'm finna go directly to the issue, and the issue is with you. So I'm coming directly to you. I think that's the.
Well, I don't want to get into that because I would have to, take both sides because it ain't just the men.
Yeah,
absolutely.
thank
So-
you.
Absolutely.
Hello.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's a double-edged sword.
That's a broad
It's not
subject,
one-sided.
and you don't
It's
have
not
a woman
one-sided
here
when
to
it comes
back
that.
you up, so I don't want to. I don't want
Yeah.
to bash you. We don't want to seem like we bashing.
Nah,
I'm good. I
doing
love debate. So
that. Nah, we not doing no bashing, but
Come with
when you
it.
say culturally, that's the difference. I think culturally is because our women, I don't think culturally they're gonna be willing to sit. We're not finna. Our women, I don't think they'll sit down in a group. Rarely, but for the most part, if she has a problem, our woman, she's gonna come to us and voice that problem that she has with us. She's not gonna go do what a woman in another culture would do.
like what?
Like possibly, she may hold it in a little bit,
Yeah.
or she may like go sit down with a neighbor, or get on the phone for hours with a best
hours.
friend, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You're gonna know she has a problem
Yeah.
as the man. You gonna know. Like men in other cultures, they would continue to move and hey, you got a problem.
But y'all
What's
don't
wrong?
feel like we go
We gonna-
through
what's
a
the-
lot
what's
of
the matter?
trauma, like just to get y'all to feel like we down or to like really stick around.
Yeah.
What do you feel about that? Because I feel like some of
Sometimes
us
we can be
do.
stupid.
Okay.
We can be stupid at times. You know what I mean? I'll be the first to admit, you know what I mean, that I was in a situation where I had where I think I messed up,
Yeah.
but I can accept that and I can live with it, Hey, it is.
How did you mess up?
I didn't
Just a brief.
I don't think I wasn't ready to progress when progress was being made.
Okay.
I wasn't ready to progress when the progress had already been made, I wasn't ready to advance into the next stage of progression.
In the relationship?
As far as in the relationship, which was marriage. And
why not?
Well, it wasn't even that I don't feel like I was ready because, for one, financially I wasn't ready, and for two, I needed to be more aware
of yourself,
of myself, and how I would be able to provide in a situation with a family. That's a lot of pressure, you know, and I wasn't ready to accept the pressures of getting ready to be a family man, and to also to provide full time for someone else other than myself.
Okay,
you know,
that's a valid point.
Yeah, like I wasn't prepared, but a year and a half later, 2 years later, I'm ready. I'm hot and ready like Little Caesars.
Okay.
And me, on the other hand, is the same thing. He's speaking for both of us, but with me, the opposite is I went ahead and took that risk, even though I wasn't ready. You have men like him that realize they're not ready, and they don't take that risk.
I think I could have been ready.
But I am the one.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
That God that I'm not ready. I'm still immature. I don't know much about life. I don't know much about fatherhood. But all I knew was get married.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, I come from a strong religious Christian
household.
So
we
was taught if you have sex, you get married. And that was, that was really the wrong, I think, approach. That's the church, the earlier church, they only went by, the best way they could,
Yeah.
But that's why the divorce rate is the highest in the church.
Okay.
Because we taught that you marry, and we throw scriptures. It's better to marry than burn, and we throw scriptures to make people feel convicted.
Or like if you have kids, you feel like
you have kids.
Obligated to.
And so I got married early at an early age because I had kids. I didn't want to disappoint God. I'm saying, you got to marry, got to look at you as a better person, and that's not necessarily correct. So my perception is a little different, and because of that, I went through a lot of heartache. Pain, took women through a lot of heartache and pain, and my kids too, because now you're a child raising a child.
That's true.
So those kids are going to get neglected in some areas.
Yeah,
you're not mature. So the thing
nobody wins in that situation, man.
Right?
Nobody wins. You know what I mean? Like Jay say, man, nobody wins when the family feud, man. Nobody.
That's true.
Wins. That's true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So growing up, and fathers, young men trying to be fathers. That's
I could see that being a lot of pressure on a man.
And so, so we deal with a lot of, misconception, perception of relationship because of that.
Yeah. Okay. So what else, you guys? Before we wrap this little debate up, some of the things y'all say I didn't like. So.
I mean, it's one of those things where, like I said once before, man, we gotta talk amongst one another. Be willing to. Clarity is best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Circumstance is the number one thing that influences all our decisions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Circumstances, they don't give you. It's not a reason to circumvent.
Yeah.
To get away from straying away from the issue at hand if there is one.
Yeah.
Be willing to discuss everything, be open, and if you have a problem with somebody, be able to let the other party know in the relationship what the issue is with them. That's why I said I feel like when you said culture, that's why I said I still feel like culturally our women gonna come directly to us. They'll let us know, hey, I have a problem with you doing this. Is it anything that you can do to change it, or per se?
But it don't always go like that.
No, it don't always go that way. It don't always go that way.
Yeah.
Lots of times, women, they will bite their tongue. I'm not gonna take that from a lot of women. But hey, we not in the era of women biting their tongue. We in the era of women being.
So do y'all have a problem with us not biting our tongue?
Who? No, I wouldn't care. I don't, because with me, my thing is this: be quiet when I need you to be quiet. From what works.
Humble yourself.
Humble yourself for me.
Be submissive.
The
Bible says, "Wives obey."
To no boyfriend.
It says obey. That's what the word say. So you disobedient.
The word said obey.
So you disobedient.
I'm not being submissive to a boyfriend. Now, when I get married, yes.
It definitely said obey. But I mean, hey, I'm not gonna put that in
Because
context.
what if it don't work? A lot of times, women, we feel like we put all this in, then a dude leave or cheat, or we get devastated, disappointed some kind of way, and then we just stuck with all those emotions of we feel cheated or like somebody took something.
You're growing.
Well,
You're getting
that's
strong.
how men feel whenever they get divorced, because women initiate almost 80% of all divorces.
That's statistics.
Close to it. You got to look at it.
But why do we?
Men feel. I'm just saying. It's men and women both. Women feel that way in while everything is going on and during the process.
Yeah.
Men feel that way once it's over and a woman decides that she wants to end it.
Okay, so you saying both sides feel used?
Both sides feel used, and a woman just feel used in the beginning. When a woman decides to cut everything off and leave that man, that's
true.
when he feels used. Because what was he there for? How many men come out on top of divorces?
That is true.
You got to sit back.
A lot of times it do work in a woman's favor.
When a man it goes through a divorce, and I ain't never been through a divorce, but I have family members and people who've been through divorces.
Yeah.
When you go through divorces, man, those are rough. You know what I mean? I seen a lot of it gets ugly.
Like I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
I'm no novice to relationship. I'm no novice
right.
to marriage.
Right.
I've been married twice.
Really?
Each marriage was over 10 years. And most people will say, okay,
you a gangster.
What you learned? You had to learn something.
You a gangster, brother. You
had to learn something in 10 years.
Yeah, most definitely.
I'm no novice.
But how did you feel at the divorce part? Like what he was saying.
Well,
did you feel
divorce is something that's divorce. If I can explain it, divorce is like death. Divorce
the Bible
is like
say
losing.
that. I would think so.
No, literally. Divorce
I would agree.
Feels like losing a loved one that's died.
Yeah,
like
you grieve. Yeah.
You cry. It's a dark place.
Okay.
It's a place where suicide can make sense.
Really?
It's a place many people commit suicide. It's a place.
I thank God I ain't never been in that position to.
Especially if you marry someone that you felt like this is your all. You can't see yourself being.
I would never put that much of me into somebody.
What? You married? That's the.
No, I'm saying like. Not to where I lose myself. I feel like in a marriage,
you can't say that in marriage. In marriage, you do lose yourself when you.
Yeah,
you go in depression.
You giving yourself.
Depression.
When you give yourself, you lost it then.
Right.
When you go to the altar and decide to be a wife,
you lost it.
You just lost yourself because
one.
you giving yourself.
Yeah, you become one. So it takes that's time to heal. Like I've been through, like mentally. You have to go through a state. Some people got to go through counseling.
Yeah.
Because you got to get yourself.
I've been through a breakup like that where I was. It took years. Huh?
I just want to pray.
Why?
Cause man, you gotta look when it get to stuff like that, man. It's like prayer's the only thing. They like, man, you
got to. That's
gotta pray, man.
I do think you gotta take time to heal.
Man. You gotta pray.
That's the key.
Okay.
So
speaking of that, one more thing. I feel like sometimes women, we deal with a lot of broken men. So like unhealed childhood things.
Of course.
Definitely.
Of course.
That's hard. Like building something from that when it hasn't really been addressed.
I think you should address our issues. You should address.
But sometimes men aren't willing to.
Well, my thing is this: you have to be warm, mm-hmm. Be a woman that's welcoming, have a caring nature, and show him that you really care about the issue.
Yeah,
make him believe that you really care about the issue, because you have to really care about the issue for him to open up to a certain extent. If he sees that you don't care about the issue, and he may just graze the surface about something, and he sees you don't give a damn about what he's talking about, and he just grazed the surface, he's going to just put the cap back on, because I'm not even seeing you caring about the initial issue on the surface. Ain't no way you're going to care about the issues that are underlying when I bring the top issue out just to see how you feel about it, and I'm not getting the response I need.
Okay, what do you say about that?
I mean, clean up. That's the issue with him.
No.
I done said, look, I don't
say
know.
Clean house.
You know I be harking on clean up.
My guy say clean house is the key.
Beautiful
women that were dirty.
don't clean up.
Yeah.
I was raised by my grandma. See them
Yeah, so
baseboards?
you got
We had
real
to clean
strong
baseboards.
principles about
Toothbrush.
that.
We
Hot
had to
water.
We had
Yeah.
to
In the
wash
cup.
walls and the cup, you know.
Yeah.
So it's hard to, find women like that.
Okay.
So that's my.
Ain't no more mamas and big mamas,
Big
man.
mama.
Ain't no more mamas and big
Y'all
mamas.
don't want to be with the woman in a nightgown.
Ain't no. Yes, I do. It ain't the nightgown.
Nightgown.
It ain't the nightgown.
Well, then what is it?
It's what's behind the nightgown.
Okay.
You don't wear. You don't never
Y'all
wear.
don't want no woman in her moo-moo.
No, really.
Nah, man, hey.
What's they called? The ancient mama rag. That turn me on.
Hey, man, you
we
know.
like that.
Okay.
A woman walking around in a
Moo-moo.
So long as they feed y'all good
Hey,
feels
man.
good.
and keep the house clean. You heard that, ladies? They said that's enough.
No, that is not. I'm not saying that. You gotta do way more. Way more.
Like what?
I mean, you gonna have to do a lot. The same way that man would be expected to do a lot if he stepped in your life. You know,
Yeah.
you gotta look. Lots of times when a man step into a woman's life, her life is gonna change.
Both sides.
But for the most part, her life would change more than his life would change because he's already doing what he doing. He's just gonna get her and add her to a part of what he doing already.
That's true.
And
And
he not gonna. I'm gonna invite you to my world. A real
Yeah.
man. That's what a real man doing. I'm gonna bring you into my world. I'm gonna let you see what I got going on. You gonna
Yeah.
either rock with it or you not. And that's when the following come into place because when a
Okay.
woman sees what you doing,
Then she can submit
she can
easily.
submit and follow appropriately if she feels like that's what that she's worth doing.
I'm glad you said that because some men look at submission differently.
Do you have kids? You have kids?
I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
You have kids? A woman with kids can be different from a woman without kids.
In what
Most
aspect?
definitely.
A lot of different aspects.
In being submissive or
Being selfishness. even.
Just their perception is different. A woman with kids, they know responsibility.
right.
They have a different view on life because they have to sacrifice. They can't go out and get them new lashes and that new
Yeah.
lipstick and that new hair. Because they gotta make sure
Kids
they're
are
right.
good
Man,
first.
some of the most selfish women I ever met were women with no kids to one kid.
Yep.
You know what I
Really?
mean?
I got one
Yeah.
kid.
Well, I'm just saying
not
women.
selfish.
I'm just saying that's some of the most selfish women I've ever met because
That hair ain't cheap. You got
They,
on. No,
um,
I'm just playing.
Huh?
Ain't no cheap hair you got on.
Yes, it is.
Oh.
I got this off YouTube.
you gotta look
y'all.
though.
Hey.
Some women who don't have any kids or one to no kids. The women who have no kids, a lot of them don't know how to be responsible for something or someone other than themselves.
But wouldn't y'all prefer
And-
that because you got to take on a kid?
What-
You know how Kevin Samuels was saying it was a liability to be with.
Well-
if you don't have no kids and she got kids.
Well, that's true. My thing was this though. As far as a liability goes, I think a liability is based on both parties.
Okay.
You know, what can I stand and where is my breaking point and what is your breaking point, or what can I do to the point to where it's not acceptable, or what can you do to the point to where it's not acceptable, and we both be liable for our actions and held
Yeah.
accountable. You know, there's little accountability.
No novice to relationships. When my second time,
That's the line. I'm no novice to relationships.
The second time I got married, she had 4 kids.
And
Like,
how
in
many
the
did you
world would
have?
4. People say, how in the
You
world you
had
gonna
4
marry a
and
woman
she
with
had
4
4?
kids and you got 4 kids? What was you
Okay.
thinking? Why would you do such a thing?
Yeah.
But it was a beautiful thing because first of all, her children and my children was the same age.
Oh,
So
that's-
now you got
yeah.
a bunch of children the same age
Uh-huh.
running around, which is amazing to see.
Yeah, they got
And,
extra siblings and
But it's a beautiful thing because you get to take on the responsibility to raise somebody else's child, another seed.
Yeah.
You get to raise something else up and teach it your ways, teach it your values. So it was a blessing to me because I'm like, wow, I get to raise somebody else's kids and impart into them how I think, my values, my cores. And so when they grow up and become something, I know that it had a lot to
something
do
to do with
what
you.
I,
Yeah.
put into them. So it's a blessing to have. I wish I had enough money to have thousands of kids. I would raise them.
Well, that's good because some men don't feel that way.
Because it's a beautiful thing to be able
Hey, man.
to impart what you got in you into somebody else.
Yeah.
I mean, you get to be responsible for what that become, what this human being becomes. You have something to do with that.
But what if their father is in their life? You don't want that to clash.
Now that can be that can be an issue
It's
too.
a thin line.
That can be an issue too because baby daddy probably want to trip.
Yeah.
And do all that, but eventually
that baby daddy gonna do whatever that baby mother allow him to do.
Anyway, but check this out though. One of the baby daddy did try to trip at first. He was trying to get problems.
Okay.
But when he realized,
maybe he was jealous or maybe stuck on a relationship
he didn't want nobody
part.
to be with his baby mama and
Yeah, it always be.
But when he realized that man, he's a real dude.
Yeah.
When he realized that.
Lots of times it don't even be them that cause a commotion or have an issue with anything.
What you mean? It be the woman.
It be the stories that he being told because he only got one side of the story.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
the baby daddy.
Lots of times he might not even have an issue with you at all, but based on something that this woman may have said to him, it may encourage him or influence him to not like you at all, and he really don't know nothing about you at all. Except the fact that
you saying like the baby mama be talking about the new dude?
Or it could be her. It could be one of the family members. It could be somebody else that might know both of y'all.
But I mean, of course, if y'all haven't, maybe y'all done got into it or have a problem,
right?
And she maybe talked to her baby daddy. Thank God, none of my, I did never have that problem with my baby mom. My wife going back talking to her baby daddy about what we got going on. I didn't never have that issue, but. It's a beautiful thing. It works. It works for some people. It works for some people.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like I say, man, what works? What good for the goose, good for the gander, man. Me, I don't entertain foolishness. You know what I mean? And that's the number one thing, man. You can't entertain foolishness. You can't worry about the hearsay, man. Stuff gonna be said. You don't worry about what's said at the end of the day. You do what you do. You worry about yourself. I worry about me. Because two things for sure, at the end of the day, no one is in control of what I do except myself. She's not in control. Right. She's not in control. He's not in control. The aunt's not in control. The mama's not in control. My parents not in control. Nobody is in control for no one else except themselves. And it be.
Now, he spoke something. I ain't mean to chime in and cut off.
Yeah.
Change the conversation. But he said parents being in control. A lot of problem in relationships is they let mama and daddy run the relationship.
Especially marriages.
You cannot allow parents to get into your relationship.
Even taking on advice, you got people out here who want to pass advice, who haven't even seen something healthy to pass healthy advice on. Right. So now you might be passing off some advice to someone that might be detrimental. Right. But you have to have a healthy example to pass off healthy advice regarding situations like that. That's why I don't get tied up into the arguing back and forth and I used to, when I was younger, but I saw that it was pointless. When I saw that and figured out it was pointless, I didn't give a damn.
Yeah. And I understand why, the scriptures in the institution of marriage is when the man marry his wife, he leaves his mother and father and cleaves to his wife. That means that mom and daddy no longer have any say-so. Yeah. So it's a lot of women, they got to talk to their mama about everything that go on in their relationship. They talk to their daddy.
A lot of times women, we be wanting somebody to vent to.
Well, I understand that, but it's certain things I feel like you should vent about. I don't think your mama should
vent to the Lord.
Vent to the Lord.
Vent to
I don't
Jesus,
think
man.
your mama should know your financial problems.
I
don't think they should know that. That's not their business. If you're just talking to her about some guy, mama, I'm trying to cook with him. What do I cook? I don't really know.
I don't know if he gonna like this.
Right, that's something different, But mom, you know what? He out with another woman. I think I don't know this and that. Don't do
stuff
that.
like that. I agree with that. Because some people have really broken up relationships and marriages off of some assumptions.
Let me ask you this: Are you concerned about another woman's happiness when in pursuit of a man? Are you concerned about another woman's happiness, or you gonna make moves that's gonna make you happy?
I believe in making moves that make me happy, but I have been guilty of worrying about outside sources versus my own self in relationships. Maybe because I have issues with trust. That's probably why. So, all right, guys, we're going to wrap up the panel today. Thank y'all very much for coming on. We could go on and on about these conversations.
Glow up with Day Day.
And I really appreciate you guys for being on here with me today. Thank you, Kip. Thank you, John. And you guys, make sure you subscribe and share. And thank you guys for tuning in. See you next time.